I like the Lissandra
I
as
do not
well.
like the Lulu.
Yeah.
Okay. Either LeBlanc or Lissandra is fine. Yeah, okay. Good.
Please.
Good.
No, no,
Yeah. Yep.
yeah, no. Don't you do it.
I don't want them to be in the same position that Samsung was in last game where they were overemphasizing the AD carry role for Pilot.
You're just killing me here, Jay. It's constantly messing with me. I want it to be the Lissandra. Like, Kuzan showed in that second game that he's very good on Lissandra. It's going to be locked in here at the last second, so... Or not, well, as the seconds count down, so... Will be Lissandra coming back in, so... Very similar compositions here.
Basically game one again. The only
Just
difference
the
is our
junglers.
junglers are different. Ambition was on Graves in game one, Winged was on Lee Sin. Instead, Winged is going to take the Elise this game, so they have more pick potential and an ability to catch out some of these double 80 carries that Samsung Galaxy will be running.
Yep.
Well, okay. I guess we're just going to see the same game that was in game one, except
Well,
this time I think that Jin has a compositional advantage because they took away the Graves.
And I also think that Kuzan actually woke up at this point.
Yeah, he did, yes.
Because for
Much
first
better.
game, he was kind of just falling asleep. But still have to show some respect, Crown. Very good Varus. And a strong bot lane in that Corki Braum. So there's potential here for Samsung. But Ambition, being on a less aggressive jungler, once again, does have the potential to upset the general playstyle of this team.
Well, not much to be said.
Yep.
It's going to be a poke composition. If Jin can successfully engage with their TP flanks this game, which they uncharacteristically struggled to do in game number one, they should be in a very good place.
Yep. Well, a lot on the line here as we're talking about major playoff contention in this matchup. But game three now, Samsung versus Jin. Let's see who's going to come out on top. Audience hanging in there as we continue onward through this long series tonight.
Oh, it's not that bad.
Well, longer compared to the first one. Then again, the second game was actually 47 minutes from Rock's Tigers. So that was pretty impressive. But this is actually one of the most aggressive invades that we've seen in a while. 4 members from Samsung roaming into this top jungle, going to be replicated by Jin as they get all of this deep vision. We'll see if the lane swaps come out or if they're going to be matched.
Crown going for the Sapphire Crystal again.
Yes.
Really prioritizing the fast tier.
This worked out for him in game one, so why not?
Got pushed in a little bit early, but yes. Wasn't so bad. And yeah, the deep wards really going in there for Jin this game, trying to see if they can detect where the duo lane is going and call their position. But everybody on the bottom side of the map, actually.
Yeah.
It will be an interesting, wow, we rarely see this anymore.
Yeah, 4 men invaded into the bottom side of Samsung's jungle, taking away the red buff and the Krugs at the same time. So no one's showing in any lane but the mid right now.
They were pushed out. Now, this is going to be a weird lane swap, obviously, because we do see the jungler from Samsung starting on the strong side of their own jungle, and everybody with that invade onto the strong side in the bottom there for Jin but the enemy buff. So core going to be there a little bit faster. Now, the way this pathing should work out is that Jin should just go back into their own jungle, and we will see, of course, Samsung going into the enemy jungle, and then they will join up on the turret.
They're wrapping around onto Kuzan right now. Crown's
could be a mistake.
Gonna slow him up. Wraith throws out the Q. It does connect. Takes the E safely over the wall, however, but that's going to be a very quick recall.
This could give Jin a really big tempo advantage when it comes to pushing this turret. Che not there, though. Che hovering around that mid lane alongside Trace. So this got a little weird. I think Jin just needs to commit to going down onto this turret faster. Not going to do it. So actually no advantage gained there.
Well, they're on their own down, and that's going to be red buff taken away by Ambition and Kuve as they roam up to this top side. So looks like we're resetting and everything's going to go back to normal as they push into these tier 1 towers.
Yeah, they were waiting for the cannon wave in any case.
Yeah, just a bit of a mix-up early on. Kuzan actually didn't use the teleport, comes back in and is only down by about 3 CS. So pretty decent. But looks like he's going to recall again.
No, he just used
he
some
chucks
potion.
he chucks his potions, that's right. Now he's recalling.
Yes, first.
I just realized he didn't have any other items in his inventory.
Yep.
So there we
he
go.
has to use the TP now, but fortunately he has that summoner spell for his use and didn't have to use the flash. So he'll be nice and safe, not too much punishment there. But might as well get a nice chunk out onto him early if you're Samsung. It didn't cost you anything when all is said and done.
Yep, now you get that TP away from him.
Now we're in a really weird situation where the junglers actually don't really have anything to do.
There's a few camps. There's 3 camps on the map right now in either jungle. Jay going in for that gank, but Crown will use the cleanse and the flash to get himself to safety. And Jin are actually falling behind on this tower take.
Yeah, they are behind. That means that Trace is going to be a little bit starved when it comes to CS. QV going to pick up just a few more while he has some spare time here in the top lane.
Yep, but they're sending Pilot up to meet with him. So it looks like we will just have
Actually, it looks like Trace got some earlier. So the fact that Winged was there allowed Trace to stay just a little bit longer and take the CS advantage, or at least even things up by the time he gets up there. Maokai should be in just about the same boat that he is. So nice job from Winged sticking around to help out his top laner, and we see the swap coming through. Maokai is going to recall here, so QV headed back to base. No defense on the bottom side as Trace joins up with Winged for some more double jungling. Bit of a late recall for him. He's going to be a bit behind when it comes to getting to the tier 1 in the top side. And he decides not to recall at all, in fact.
Yep, just going to stick in the jungle alongside Winged.
This is going to be a really slow turret for Jinair.
Now he's getting out of there. And yeah, innately, the Kallista's not going to take turrets very quickly.
Wing's in the wrong side of the jungle.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to be there.
He's
This is
taking
really
a
bad.
lot of damage as well. Kuzan, of course, not level 6. Not going to be able to do too much, but Trace...
Trace TP'd into the mid lane.
That was not good.
Okay. Well, I don't know what he was thinking. They're now going to lose this tempo advantage. QV is down on the bottom side, just pounding away on this turret. And some saplings to help clear out the minions. And Trace is just going to go over to the Rift Herald instead.
But this should be a Rift Herald for Dragon Trade.
Nope, because Ambition's going into the top
Oh,
lane.
you're right. Yeah, he didn't stick around. He did recall.
Looks like they're going to try and save the turret or go for the Gromp. This is weird, actually. I don't know what Jinair or Samsung is doing right now. So they had the tempo advantage. They could have taken that dragon.
Both teams are playing so bizarrely.
I mean, sure, you can get that Gromp, I guess, but Trace is just going to walk into the top lane now. And Ambition is not going to be in position to actually take the dragon. So Samsung actually had a pretty good edge, but they sort of just throw it away. Trace now with the Rift Herald buff. So bizarrely, Jinair takes the Herald, still has a tempo advantage, even though QV was down in the bottom side faster and Trace was just wandering around the map, randomly TPing into the mid lane.
Yeah.
Really weird play from Jinair. Ambition should have been at that dragon. I don't know why he went to Gromp. There's no reason for him to do that.
Yeah, just take the tower, go get the dragon. Comes over into this mid lane. We'll be able to clear out a little bit of vision though. But of course, you're moving in on Lissandra, who's already pretty safe because of that glacial path. This is just a weird game so far.
Now, here's the thing. If you're Samsung, okay, and Ambition wants to walk into that top side, you can TP the Maokai to the top side turret and actually maybe defend that. But
Sure.
they didn't do that. So if you're going to do that, then there's a reason for Ambition to be in the top side jungle. If not, there is no reason. And then they would have actually won that turret trade and been a turret up.
Yep. It was just very bizarre exchanges, and now we can see Jinair moving forward, getting vision in this lower half of the jungle. Could just go in and pressure this tier 2. Looks like that is what they want.
Trace
and
is just
Ambition's down here to try to defend this.
Yeah, Trace is on Rift Herald duty right now, so he's just forming up with the rest of his team, and at least still trying to take away the red buff.
He's not 6. He can't even throw a
Why
cask.
is Ambition here?
You can't throw a cask to try to defend this. Jay just going to go in, get the body slam, or the pulverize into the body slam.
Ambition, you really don't want to be
gets
there.
6. He throws out the cask, has to flash away, but the repel's going to come through, and they throw him over with a Fate's Call. Ambition, what are you doing?
Ambition
Goes
is
down.
literally in exactly all the wrong places this game. This is not how you jungle during a lane swap. He's having a major brain fade.
They're going to... I don't know. They trade the turrets in the end, but it's still first blood, and now probably Dragon going over to Jin because they're perfectly positioned to take this.
Yeah, they can simply walk right back to the Dragon. Although Kuzan is pushed up, so they may not want to take that risk. Still moving their way over there. They can tank it with the Elise Spiderlings, and Kuzan in a better place to respond to any kind of Dragon now. Corky gonna walk up, but this Dragon's dead by the time Corky gets up here.
Yeah. I haven't been this confused since... You can throw a rocket maybe and try to steal it. Goes in with a package actually, but the smite still comes through from Wing. Just pretty low, has to flash away, gets exhausted out. Uwe TP's in on the other side. The repel to get Winged over the wall, but he's gonna get locked up with the concussive blows. Should go down. Red buff over to Core JJ. Samsung finally making a play. Ambition arrives just in time to kill the blue buff. So it's going to be 2 kills now over to Samsung, but they lose the Dragon.
Yeah, they lose the Dragon. Cube had the TP advantage, so they make the aggressive play there. Nicely done by Samsung, and Kuzan simply couldn't react, couldn't get into the river faster than Crown could.
Yep.
Crown also flashed for that, so they get a little bit intimidated. Not the cleanest kill to finalize that Dragon. Wing gonna flash out, and Cube gets there and stutters, and then goes over the wall with the twisted advance, securing that one. Crown, though, flash after charging the piercing arrow for the kill.
Yep.
And then they take away the blue buff.
Good stuff by Samsung to pick up the slack that Ambition was creating for this team, because somebody had to do something to get themselves into this game, or else Jin were going to start running away with it with all of the poor decision making.
Jin made mistakes too, but
yeah.
Ambition's position on the map was highly suspect.
Assume the Ambition position.
The Ambition submission position?
Yep.
Yeah. He was assuming it. He was assuming the Ambition submission position while he was under that turret at the bottom side.
Yeah, very much so. I get it if you were already 6 for that play, because you could just throw the cask, knock the minions away, and for the most part kill them, but going in there at level 5 trying to defend against a Nautilus, Alistar, Kindred, and then an Elise in the top side, of, like above you in the jungle, it was just very, very weird. Not well thought out by Ambition.
Well, I've got a surprise for you. It's Banner of Command first onto Nautilus now in the top lane.
Hot damn, here we go.
Nice setup here for the Siege.
Yeah.
For Samsung. They get their poke composition rolling and just chipping away. There's not a lot of wave clear here. I didn't check and see what item Pilot has. Looks like, oh, he has Hurricane, so that's smart to get first. I like the fact that Pilot's been prioritizing this.
Yep, and this is the upside to having a poke composition, especially when Braum is on your team. You know, the downside of drafting the Alistar so early.
TP coming in, actually behind red buff.
Yeah, he's really far away though. Should get spotted out by some of these wards. Wing playing forward, trying to slow him out. Get Core JJ.
They don't see him yet.
They're not following up though. Wing gets caught. Boss Bomb comes through. He takes a lot of damage, but a beautiful pulverize and lockdown coming in from Jin, and it looks like they might be able to sweep through Samsung. Core JJ's already fallen. Kuve as well on the backside. Crown, Ambition, Wraith trying to run out of there, but the dredge line comes through. Ambition does get the body slam in time, and he will be able to escape. But 2 members on the side of Samsung going down. Very beautiful play, and CC Laring coming in from Jin.
Wow, that was all Kuzan coming in with the W straight into the self ult to lock everybody up and force them away from the turret. Trace had a really far teleport, but because there weren't any wards, you could see he was just waiting, standing right below the river. Crown doing a good job to still pick up the turret though, so great response for those kills. Still leaves Jin with a lead, but not much of one.
Yeah, well, they're going to extend it a little bit when they kill this Rift Herald. So they'll get a couple more 100 into their favor as this does go down, but still barely an advantage. I hope we get to take another look at that, and here it is actually the replay.
Yeah, you see Trace just hang out right here and wait for this. Winged is going to get locked up with the Chain of Corruption. Uses that repel when he can, but man, 5-man ult there from Kuzan is the big winner. Pilot doesn't have a lot of damage yet, still does enough with the rend, and then hops his way backwards against Cuvée, just barely living through that. Trace locks a couple more up, can't quite seal the deal. on Ambition, who body slams away with his last tiny little bit of mana.
Yep. Well executed by Jin Air.
Great patience too, waiting
Yeah.
for the Chain of Corruption to go down before actually trying to engage from the flank. That way there wasn't a chance of him getting hit by it.
Yeah,
and he knew where the wards were too. He knew where the wards were, so he was waiting, knowing that they didn't see him. Much better TP that time for Trace. Like I said, I was worried at first.
Yeah, the TP into the mid lane, really bizarre.
No, I was worried about that TP because I thought he was too far. I thought he was too far away, but
yeah.
the rest of the team had patience to let him get in position, and then he was just able to follow up on Kuzan's 5-man self-ult.
Yeah.
So that's more of the style of Lissandra play that I've come to know and appreciate from Kuzan.
Yeah, it's always nice to see when you can make a great play with Lissandra by ulting yourself, not just by ulting, you know, an enemy and trying to 100-0 them. It's always amazing to see these just lockdown plays where you use that massive ring of frost around you, just slow everybody up and set up for a beautiful pulverize like that from Che.
Yeah, and the support was there too. You know, having the Nautilus on the backside, really, really helpful as the follow-up. So.
Yep.
Wraith is gone, Captain and I don't know what this is from Wraith. No other support that I know is building their champions this way right now with the early Captain enchantment.
I don't know. It's gonna use stand behind me and they can all run away together.
Well, they could run toward him.
Well, yeah, that's what he says. Stand behind me, so he gets on the opposite side of them.
I see. Okay,
puts him in front.
Great Braum play right there.
Yeah. See, you're ready for the team's failure, so
all
you're
right.
trying to get them
He's
out.
Like, not Maokai, I'm the primary engage. Flash Glacial Fissure. Everybody follow me.
That'd be next level plays. Oh.
Wow, that's annoying.
Yep, Trace just like, I know where you are. Throws out the Riptide to lock him up. Gets the Aegis onto himself. For Trace, so.
Yeah, he's had that for a while. I'm waiting for the banner. It will come.
If you build it, they will come. Because they have to kill that stupid minion.
Well, it sucks too because the only person who can kill that minion is, you know, Crown or Core JJ.
Yeah.
No one else is going to
Mostly
quickly deal with that. Yeah, Core. Well, once Core gets Rapid Fire Cannon Infinity Edge, he'll be fine.
That's true. But we can see Dragon gets started up by Samsung. Gonna be ignored by Jin Air. So they just give this one over. So not looking to play the stacking game this time around.
I think they're smart to give it up.
Yeah.
Corki with the Trinity Force, you're still waiting on your Blade of the Ruin King. Pilot actually is not doing damage right now, really. Once his Rend is down, then he doesn't do damage anymore.
Yeah.
So you need to wait for the Blade, I think. Get that big Callista 2-item spike, and then you can team fight more effectively.
For JJ, good intuition. Trying to shoot that rocket in onto Kuzan as he's in that brush. So we'll keep himself alive. This is a lot of members of Samsung posturing around this bot side. Kube does have the TP available. Could flank from this one in the jungle hallway.
Yeah, I don't think he's actually going to go into the backside of this turret. That would be really risky for him to do, and especially now while he's tangling with Trace here in the mid lane.
True. Looks like they might just swap right over here and try to get some damage onto this turret.
Yep, really good play by Samsung. This is how you shove the minion waves, get the turrets.
Recall.
Wow, they're going for it.
He's TPing in here. It's going to be the depth charge onto Crown.
Nice
He gets grabbed
Q.
up by the dredge line as well. Here comes Kuzan. Should have the frozen tomb. Nice flash over the wall by Crown, but he gets chased by that repel, and it looks like he may go down. Ticking here. Kuzan has to use the frozen tomb onto himself. Wing does finish off Crown. Kube on the run. Goes down as Pilot gets the red kill. Not going to be able to follow up, but this should be the turret going down as the wave gets... Actually, the wave's really far away. We'll get some damage in here. Maybe just tank it up and take it.
Yeah, look at that. They just used this to go ahead and pop that banner of command right away. Trace just got it, so it buys themselves a little bit of extra time to take the turret.
Creative use.
And a little bit more of a lead. And wow, they forced Crown's summoners so fast, and he just had to leave that fight instantaneously. Exhaust comes down, and then, again, Kuzan just decides to ult himself. So Crown here gets grabbed up, gets stunned by the auto attack, has to burn his cleanse, and then he's like, oh crap, there's a Kuzan right behind me. Core is going to get W'd, Wings just follows him over with the repel, and then the self-ult onto Kuzan. He's already exhausted, so might as well just maximize that AoE CC, and then Pilot here just hops his way through to victory.
Yep.
for a couple more kills. Too early for a Baron, quite clearly, so they take their prize, which will be the middle turret and the Rift Herald instead.
Yep, another Rift Herald for them. I think it's the third of the game for them, and it will be the last as Baron's going to be spawning in about 2 minutes. So, Jin Air getting themselves into an advantageous position. Up just a little bit of gold, 1.6 thousand at the moment, so nothing too significant, nothing that Samsung cannot come back from. But making some good moves and some good TP plays, and they constantly have at least a match teleport, because Trace and Kuzan have not had to use the TP at the same time, really, in this game so far.
Yeah, that's a great point. Always have the threat of the flank available, and that's how it should be. If you can stagger those at all, using both of them at the same time, you can do it if you think you're highly likely to get an ace and therefore take a Baron or win the game.
Or if it's like a really big early play to get like a first blood and a couple kills in a tower or something like that. Then
yeah, but you really, like you said, you want to stagger those TPs once you get into this late game, because that makes Samsung think again anytime they want to group up as 5.
Yep.
Increases the difficulty of coming out alive in those engagements, and keeps your turrets up too, so always nice.
Yep, and we've been seeing Trace and Kuzan are able to offer way more crowd control than Kuve's Maokai is possibly able to do. Sure, he gives that AoE damage reduction, but it's just not doing enough so far in these fights that we've seen. Now you can see Banner of Command. The Maokai is the worst dream, or worst nightmare has come true.
Sapling trying so hard to deal damage.
But you can't. Seriously, just wait until those saplings are tiny little cats.
And then what happens?
They just explode, I don't know.
That sounds cruel to cats.
I mean, yeah. I was telling Papa there's actually a board game called Exploding Kittens, so maybe Riot had to pay some royalty fees in order to make that skin.
No, I don't think Riot pays fees.
Probably not. You would know.
So, coming back now, Baron up. This is becoming a more realistic objective for Jin Air. Obviously, quite early, and especially with that Lissandra not the fastest, but they are doing some work attempting to bait it out.
Yep.
Dragon up in a minute, but this is not going to be a fast dragon stacking game like you noted. This Jin Air this time has to look to punish Samsung's positioning, and Samsung has to make sure their flanks are very clear of wards before they want to group up on these tier 2s.
Yep. Well, so far, really good vision control here from Jin Air. Gonna go clear out that pink ward and that brush probably for Kuzan. But Dragon coming up in now 30 seconds. And with control over this area, they could pretty easily get this. Ambition's gonna push in though, not let him take that ward away. So just everybody kind of tiptoeing around this pit. We'll see who's going to be the ones pulling the trigger to try to get it. Jin Air might just give it up.
I don't know how much Jin Air cares about the Dragon now.
Yeah.
At this point in the game, they may just care more about the split push pressure, but especially because they don't have the priority, so they can't just rush the Dragon while Samsung waits to apply the poke necessary to go in. But it looks like they're going to try and do what they can. TP actually coming through. They're going for it.
Oh, yes, they are. TP coming in really deep on the backside here from Trace, trying to stay hidden.
He's just standing there.
Don't know that he's there. Home guard is going to expire. They go in on the wing, though. Gets caught. Has to flash away. Concussive Blow's coming through. They stun him up, and Crown gets the kill. That is devastating for Jin Air on this flank, and now Trace going to have to just recall out.
Wow. So they didn't actually dodge the chain of corruption right there, and Wing just gets picked off.
Sucks
with the CC. Che got poked out too, so it will be a Dragon over to Samsung. Waste of the teleport. I don't know if Samsung knows he used it or not, though. That's going to be the big question, is whether they even know it's on cooldown. But
well, that's true. They didn't spot it, so there's that potential threat, the mind game, that they have 2 TPs available, but rough stuff. So 2 teleports not quite working out for Trace in this game. That one, not really his fault, though.
Yeah, it's okay. They probably assumed, given that he was left out of the top side, out of that top lane, but right back up there again. Banner Command minion was cleared out. Still denying some CS by using that, but not really a big win there for JIN as their lead remains quite small.
Yeah, 1.4 thousand. The only thing separating these guys, and then a second dragon that has not been acquired by JIN yet. But still really close, dead even on turrets as well. Pilot, though, has completed his QSS for his third item. For JJ, not quite just yet. We haven't seen him begin to build anything else. So we'll see where he wants to go with this. Probably, could be the Infinity Edge next, who knows.
Yeah, the Essence Reaver is an item we don't typically see second onto Corki. It's almost always the Rapid Fire Cannon into the Infinity Edge. All right.
He's also got Swifties instead of the Sorks boots.
You would think that if you were building Essence Reaver for the CDR, you would also build the Sork shoes. That's a bit weird.
Yeah, odd build pathing here for JJ.
But he does want as much movement speed as he can get, considering that he is obviously very concerned about these flanks. Still no QSSs, though, on the side of Samsung, so they remain at risk during these sieges. Kuzan is pushed out. He's going to recall in the brush and set up for another teleport. Go ahead and check this brush with the blue trinket. Here we go.
He's TPing in. It's over by the Dragon Pit.
All right, they sniffed that one out, so they burned another TP.
And Kuzan just going to go straight back to the bot lane and go, ooh, minions.
Yeah.
And,
might as well push. Might as well make something out of the failed flank attempt. And now this is where Samsung can do it. They've gotten both TPs out.
Yeah, the start's already really
Yeah, this is really good for Samsung. They've played very patiently, and now they can go for it.
Yep. Of course, Wing just trying to throw these cocoons onto a primary target so Trace can follow up with a depth charge, but Ambition, not really somebody that you want to all in for. So Samsung playing this poke game pretty well. See Kuzan trying to find an in from the sidelines.
All right.
Just a couple more hits and this will fall.
This is good methodical play from Samsung here. They're not taking unnecessary risks. They're slowly taking away all of the TPs from the JIN GREENWINGS and making sure that they can play safely with their siege composition and get back into this one. That'll nearly erase the gold lead. A lot of gold to spend, though.
Yep.
Let's go for the recall.
I wish I could see how far away Crown is from getting that Muramana completed. It's got to be really soon. It's already 25 minutes in, 26 minutes in, and he doesn't have it.
So there's the QSS. So Core's got that now.
Okay.
Went for it third.
Good on him.
Last Whisper going to be there for Crown. He has the cleanse, though, so he is less at risk, less vulnerable.
You can see the Zonia is getting built up here for Kuzan. Both components completed, so just needs that 1,050, I think. I forget the exact number, but whatever. 1-point-something thousand gold.
Yeah, Trace actually with a very different build. Not the Zerat this time. He was playing. Remember, he was playing into the Maokai in game number 1 too.
Yeah.
But he went for the Zerat first in that game, then into the Banner of Command. This time it's Banner, no Zerat portal.
Iceborne Gauntlet.
Iceborne Gauntlet. But honestly, the lack of Zerat portal, this is probably a result of the lane swap in this game, because he can't just put it under his turret and pressure like he was doing in the standard lanes in game number 1.
Yeah.
So mixing it up, and he's got, it's basically like the ultimate wave clear build for Nautilus. You have your Riptide, you've got the Iceborne Gauntlet, you have the Banner of Command, and you have the Balmy Cinder building into a Sunfire Cape. So this is like a weird split bush Maokai, or Nautilus rather.
Yeah. So what he's been doing this whole time is just sitting in the side lanes and then TPing in, trying to get those flanks worked out just the once.
Well, the second one he actually set up nicely for. It was just unfortunate that Winged got caught out for the rest of the team, because he was in a good location and he was waiting very patiently in a place that didn't have wards to go for the engage.
Yeah, he was well positioned, Winged was not.
Yeah. Not really an excuse for that either. If you're Elise, you should be able to repel the Chain of Corruption. And once that ability's out, you can just sit up there and repel, and then Trace can engage from the flank, and then you come back down.
Yep, just very poorly played by Winged. Moramana, though, to answer my question, has been completed here, just under 28 minutes.
That's really late, actually.
Yeah, yeah. We usually see that at about 22-ish.
Yeah.
Sometimes earlier than that, but usually no later than 24 minutes. So that was a very, very late Muramana, but doesn't get too heavily punished for not having that extra bit of damage. So that's going to be a nice spike for him. Zhonya's yet to be completed for Kuzan, and now we can see potential third dragon for Samsung as it does spawn.
And 2 TPs up, though, and...
Yep, already going to use both of them straight onto that ward. Can they find a pick, though? Kuzan the only one with a home guard buff. They're just coming in so they can posture up at this dragon pit.
Well, they have the Kalista, but why would they use both TPs that early onto that ward?
That made no sense to me.
All right, so Jay's like, all right, you're not going to flank, I'm going to flank. I'm the flanking cow now.
Kuzan doesn't go in. Kuzan goes straight to the back line. Knocks up 3 people. Goes on with the Frozen Tomb to himself. JJ trying to kite back in the backside of this one. Kuzan has to use the Zhonya. Takes a ton of damage from JJ. Will he go down? Ambition comes forward. The barrel comes through, and it does take him down. The Lysandra falls. Now Trace on the run. Has to try to Spider-Man his way out of here, but I don't think it's going to happen. Pops the shield. JJ on the chase. He's going to get slowed up. He's going to go down. Wraith is there as well. Straight into the queue. JJ finds the kill. 2 for 0 plus third dragon for Samsung. That was catastrophic by Jin Air.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. They're going to get a Baron off of this too, more than likely. JJ finding the kill. Cubeg just going to use his TP after he recalls to get nice and healthy for a Baron attempt. No contest here as Winged is just going to go back to the base. And they're not going to be there in time to really actually... maybe he can get there just in the nick of time to possibly try some sort of miracle steal. Yep, he will be.
Yeah. Gonna have to go in for trying to block him out from coming in. Baron hovering around 1800. Goes in with the repel, cannot get it. Ambition confirms it, and Wing dies. Baron over to Samsung, and just like that, finally finding a firm gold lead. Still close in kills, but Samsung maybe with a way further ahead in this match.
You just can't fight like this if you're generic. Kuzan comes in, gets the W, but he's instantly exhausted. Jay gets the knock-up right afterwards, but Core is going to come out, uses that QSS, and starts to just rain in damage towards the backside of the fight. Pilot, they're just getting attacked by a dragon the entire time, too. They take a huge amount of damage from just dragon autos. And that's just going to chunk them out, but really that started with the fact that Jin Air committed to using those 2 TPs. Now, when you're playing against a poke composition, the last thing you want to be is standing in front of an objective while they stand there and poke you if you're not actually in the dragon pit with Kalista auto-attacking it so you can kill the dragon quickly before they can poke you down.
Yeah.
And they tried to make the most of it. They tried to get Che around the side. They tried for the Glacial Path flash engage from Kuzan. But, I mean, don't engage that composition straight on. They have too many ways to kite you out.
Yeah, let them start the dragon and then engage onto them.
Yeah.
Don't
just
hover around
Or just start the dragon yourself, but you have to commit to getting in that pit. They totally misplayed that team fight.
Yep.
And the teleport's coming up to it.
Yeah, and all of the turrets outside of the base have gone down. And Samsung looking like they've been handed the tools necessary to win this game all of a sudden. Good siege coming in on this inhibitor tower as it falls just below 1,000 or half HP here. Just a couple thousand more that needs to be knocked down. Jin Air, what is going through your heads today?
Yeah, they just haven't looked very on point.
Yeah, they grab Kuve, but they're just going to throw it. The Chain of Corruption. Trace gets locked up and he goes down. Kuve finds the kill. Fate's call for Jay, but they throw him straight back toward the fountain. That's going to be the inhibitor falling. No wave to really push in this mid lane. They could rotate up to the top if they want to, but it looks like they're just going to go back, sweep through the jungle, and then maybe go back and buy.
The problem with Trace's build is that he's not himself as tanky as a Nautilus would normally be at this point in the game.
Yeah.
He doesn't actually have a lot of HP because of the Iceborne and Banner build that he did early on. He's only starting to stack that up right now, so he's going to go down pretty quickly to this poke.
Yep. There's just nothing you can do right now if you're Jin Air.
No, especially not when Trace is dead, they need him to be able to engage, and his TP is only coming up right now.
This is not a good look for the JIN GREENWINGS.
Just seems to me that they're having an off day. We haven't seen them look this uncoordinated much this season, but
yeah,
they look not so great now. But Samsung, you know, they've really rallied back this game after sort of getting choked out by JIN control of Baron and Dragon in game number 2.
Yep.
And they played safely. You know, they've played around the teleports well. They've sieged up. They got themselves back in this game in terms of gold by taking the turrets in the most conservative way possible, and they played around that dragon just better, and now they are threatening those dragon stacks, starting to get up there. They were able to take the Baron.
Yep.
So, Samsung, not doing too shabby. It's time again. Nope, Kuzan decides to leave.
There's nowhere for him to really TP. Well, he's going to stick around and try to find something, maybe in this top side. Yep, Samsung continuing to push onward. No Baron-empowered minions anymore, as the buff has worn out. But still a very strong team.
Well, he can still dive, too. They have the package.
There's a ward behind them that they could go to, but they're just sticking up around this.
I think JIN has to go for the Hail Mary engage right now. This is their only real shot of getting back in this game. If Samsung's smart, they're just going to play ultra safe until they see those super minions go in and start knocking on the Nexus.
Yep.
Like, don't even walk up, seriously. Walk away, run away, yes. Don't let them even have a shade of a chance of engaging on you.
Yep. All aboard the SS All In. Kuzan, though, having to clear out these waves.
He can't clear out those minions by himself.
Oh, Chain of Corruption does not land.
Well,
Chain
that's
getting
helpful.
slowed up. Yep, so that's Alistar ultimate down. Oh wow, turret almost going down. Top turret though, going to fall, and that's going to be 3 inhibitors down for JIN, who look like they are just going to get closed out of the rest of this game.
Yep, just push the minion waves now, and it's just perfect for Samsung. Just keep poking them next to the Nexus. They can't actually clear these waves. Well, nice
gets
catch.
A grab onto core JJ. Big CC chains coming through. Kuzan not really able to find the in. The Frozen Tomb still available for him. Winged on the run. Body slam comes through from Ambition. Has to repel and jump out as they go back into the fountain. But Kuzan in no man's land does finally use the Frozen Tomb onto himself. Flashes in. Tries to get core JJ, but the shard's not going to connect. And Crown finishes him off. Trace comes in though. Grabs him up. The Chain of Corruption comes through. Locking down Pilot. He falls. A double kill for Crown. The Nexus turret's going down. And this is going to be the game after a very long skirmish against the tanky members of JIN. Triple kill, I guess, here. But Wing gonna fall.
Penta.
Penta, can he get it?
Crowd get the Penta kill. They're gonna give it to him. Penta.
And there it is. Crowd with the Penta kill at the end of this game, crushing the hell out of JIN.
Really?
12-6, massive gold lead in the end. And JIN just couldn't do a damn thing.
Well, Crown continues to be amazing on Varus too. Just game after game. They have such confidence in picking it for him. Gets the pentakill at the end. The very few we've seen so far this season. And a win for Samsung moves them up to 9-6, which puts them above SK Telecom, but still below KT Rolster. But a really important win for Samsung here today.
Extremely important. It's just a good pickup for him, or for them, as they slide forward. And like I said, they have, in my opinion, an easier schedule than JIN does. With Africa, Rocks, and Longzhu on the horizon, Samsung just Longzhu, SKT, and Kongdu Monsters. There's certainly teams that they're capable of beating as the team that took down Rocks.
Yeah, JIN just couldn't execute today. Their coordination around that team composition and their engages was off in games number 1 and games 1 and 3. In game number 2, they played their typical style, just hugely objective focused, slow, methodical play, and it got them a win. But when you have to actually pull the trigger when your opponent is sieging you, that's where they fell flat. Wing got caught out a couple times when Trace was trying to use teleport. And that was it. So JIN takes a loss. They're still second place.
Yeah. Don't fall, but if they continue playing like that, if they don't gather themselves as they move forward into these next games, it's going to spell disaster for them. Africa going to be the next opponent that they face.
They got to win that one.
And they have to win that game. Because I don't know what their hopes are against Rock's Tigers. Maybe if Rock drafts the way that they did in that second game in the entire series, then I think JIN could actually win.
I think that game would be highly winnable, but good job by Samsung tonight. I really like how patient they were with that poke composition in the last game.
Yep, it's really solid. Your MVP for that last game is going to be Core JJ.
Oh, nice. He's modeling for us in his picture.
Yeah.
Running his hands through his silky hair. And that Corky.
Yeah. He had some flashy plays. It was a really good package. Transitioned into some kills here.
Let's take a look at Core JJ. I'm a bit surprised that Crown didn't get it for that Varus, but
yeah, I am as well. But Core JJ didn't play poorly.
Yeah, he actually cleanses out right there of the knock-up from the Alistair, but doesn't use his flash, so a little bit late on the cleanse, actually.
He's laying out a good amount of bursts throughout these team fights, actually, so
yep.
Really chunking out the members of JIN and enabling the cleanup from the rest of his team. So it was just a good, consistent performance by him. Nothing standing out too heavily for us to pick up on, but nothing for us to ridicule as well.
Now coming in here, just laying down the phosphorus bombs. Trace not too tanky early with that build, and that'll be it. 2-1 to Samsung.
Yep. Very solid game in the end by them, finishing out 2 minutes faster than their first game, almost 3. But we will throw over to an interview with our MVP. So George, take it away with the translation.
All right, hello Champions fans, this is George again. Samsung has beat JIN 2-1, and today's MVPs are Ambition and Core JJ. Let's meet our MVPs. First of all, for Ambition, all right, how do you feel about today's victory? It was a really hard match, and my stamina is really low right now. After today's victory, you guys are ranked at 4th. I know the high ranks fights are very like a mud fight almost. How do you feel about today's victory? Now, after today's game, every single game is very important. And we kind of lost to the team that actually we thought we were going to beat. But we are actually winning against all those high-ranked teams, so I kind of feel good as well. I know Winged has been playing very well, and when Winged picked Lee Sin, how did you feel? I actually wasn't thinking too much. I kind of heard that he might actually pick Lee Sin, but for me, it is thankful that actually he picked Lee Sin because I knew I was gonna win against him. What point did you actually like that? Because whatever you do with Lee Sin, it's really hard to carry with Lee Sin. So, but for me, so I was very confident against playing against him. I know a lot of opponents actually banned against Ambition, but when you were able to pick Graves, what was team response? Because Winged is actually a very, very good jungle, so I didn't know what to pick. But it was a good actually moment for me to actually pick Graves, so I kind of picked him. So today, the Brazilian Smite of Wings has appeared again. So the first set was actually the match between the junglers. How was the match? How did you feel about the match? On the first set, I actually played very well. Because I think the first fight is the most important. But I kind of made mistakes, so I kind of felt bad. I felt sorry for the teams. I know after you guys have won the first match, Rox has actually made it to the playoffs. It feels like you guys helped them or wound them at the point, and then you kind of helped them. How do you feel? Can you say something to the Rox Tigers? Even if we have lost today, Rox probably would have made the playoffs, but hopefully we will make it to the championship as well. All right, congratulations for Ambition. Next will be Core JJ. Yep, after a very competitive game, how do you feel about today's victory? still can't believe that we have won today. It was a really hard match, and I just want to take a break. I just want to rest at home. On the third set, they actually banned against Ambition. What do the team members talk about after that? When the opponents actually ban against Ambition, that means the other laners can actually, get better picks. So we have to actually play better. At last, when Crown had pentakill, after pentakill, the game was over. Did he love it? It feels like my neck actually kind of started hurt. My throat actually hurt it after I kind of shouted pentakill, pentakill. What did Crown say? Even though he got the pentakill, he didn't love it too much. So hopefully next time I'll get the pentakill. Yep. Crown was probably really tired to actually be excited at that point. I know last game Stitch actually played. Were you worried because this is the first team you played against? Not really. I wasn't worried too much. I feel like who you play against is not as important as how we play. So I just worry about how we are going to play rather than just worrying against other teams. On the first round, you have beat Jin. Will you be able to win the rest of the games? Yep. I'm very confident to win 3 consecutive games after today. Please say something for the future games. We will win all 3 games, and we'll meet you at playoffs.